Hi, and welcome to part 4 of our pipes training. So today we are focusing on the E in our pipes, and that is the enrolling. So if you remember, we've got P for preparation, we've got I for inviting, we've got P for presenting, E for enrolling, and then S for supporting. So we've done our preparation, we've set up our workshops, we've set up our one-on-ones. We've invited people to come and chat with us, invited people to learn more. We've presented to them and we've shown them the benefits of the oils, and now they want to enrol. So this webinar today is all about how we enrol people, and I'll take you through an example, and also what to do once we have enrolled people. So the really important things is, assume we're at a workshop and we've got some people and they've filled out their forms. So we've got their enrolment forms. First thing we need to do is check that all the information that we need is on there. There's nothing worse than doing a workshop, getting home really late at night, going to enter all the forms in and going, oh no, I haven't got all the information. So the things you want to check is, you want to check and make sure they've got the postcode. You want to check that they've got their date of birth, because that's one that they often miss, the phone number, email, date of birth. And you want to check the credit card details and that they've got the 3-digit number on the back. So those are the areas that people often miss. Now, while we're sitting with someone while they're enrolling, there's also a few other things we want to do. So we don't just want to run away and say, thank you very, very much, and grab their form and go. What we want to do is we want to set up then and there the follow-up. So we've talked with them about how our protocol is to sit down and go through their oils when they get them. So get your diary out and set up the follow-up. So you'll know yourself how long it takes for people to get their oils, depending on where you are. So I know in Perth it takes us 3 days or so. Other places take 10 days, 2 weeks, but you'll know how long it takes you to get your oils. So you'll be able to advise your new people how long it'll take them. And set a meeting in your diaries then and there to follow up and go through with them how to use them safely and how they can use them in their home. I find that's the most effective way to get that follow-up set, is to book it in right then and there when they're enrolling and when they're excited. We also, at this stage, we want to give them a bit of information. So I like to give my people, when they enrol, a membership pack. Now what you give them is up to you, but you remember that they're not going to get information with their oils. And some people like hard copies and some people like things electronic. I like giving hard copies. I suppose it's a hangover because I like hard copies. Best you can do is ask them. Ask what they want and what sort of information they need. As a minimum, I'll give people a wild orange oil, because everyone needs joy bubbles in their life, right? And most of our kits don't include wild orange. So you've got your wild orange, your 10 wild orange in your Empower kit. So I give them to them there at that workshop, and I say, this is a gift from me to you for enrolling. Everyone needs joy bubbles in their life. And then I show them a couple of ways of how they can use the wild orange straight away. So they can put a drop in their water and use it that way. They can put a drop in their hands, rub it together, and inhale to give them energy, uplift them, make them feel good. If they've got a diffuser, they can put it in their diffuser straight away. They can use it to make bliss balls. Now the great thing with this is they've got something in their hands that they can use straight away when they get home, before their oils get there. So it really keeps that excitement up from the class or from the workshop or from the one-on-one we've been talking to them until they get their own oils. The other things that I like to give people, I give them a live guide. So I like to give them a hard copy of the live guide. If you don't have hard copies, you can download one from sharesuccess.com. So you can either download it and give it to them, or you can send them a link to it. Now the reason I like to give this to them is that I say to them there, I say, this gives you some really good ideas on the doTERRA products and how to use them. When I sit down with you, what I'm going to do is, as well as showing you how to use your oils safely, I'm going to do a free wellness consult. And then I flick to near the back and show them the wellness consult that I'm going to do with them. So have a think about your top 3 health issues, and when I sit down, we'll chat those through and we'll talk about how to use your oils best for that. So that's what I give as an absolute bare minimum, is a live guide and a wild orange. But what I also love to give people, because I like giving people things. I give them a sheet with diffuser blends, with the Home Essential Kit diffuser blends and how they can use their diffuser straight away. I also give them a sheet of different ways they can use their Home Essential Kit oils around the home. I give them safety information. So I sort of pick and choose depending on who it is as to what I give them. If you want to use some of the information that I do, if you go to our Sharing from the Heart page, they're all there in the files, and all the file names in the front of it, I've got enrolment pack, just so you can differentiate what ones, and just pick and choose what ones work for you. As I say, I like to print them out. I put them in a nice little folder, so just one of the cheapies you can get from a supermarket, manila folders, and I give it to them when they enroll. So they've got something to take away. Some people email it to them. I find people don't open emails. Maybe that's because I duplicate what I do, but find out what works for you and what works for your team, whether it's electronic or hard copy. So we've got the enrolment form, we've set up our follow-up, and we've given them some information to take away. So we want to do all of that then and there when they enroll. Give them a really good first experience. Then we're going to bring our form home, and we actually need to enrol these people. So the first thing we need to do is we need to look at our tree, have a talk to our upline leaders and our mentors, and work out where these people fit best. So placements is another whole topic, and I'm not going to go into it in detail, except for say we want to look at where the people are going to grow best. Strategy, volume, etc. is always number 2. The first is what is best for this person. Where can they grow best in my team? Now, we're going to have to look at who the enroller is and who the sponsor is. So the enroller is the person who introduced them to the oils. The sponsor is where they sit in the tree. So, for example, if I introduced Sally to essential oils, she came along to my workshop and she decided to enroll, I would be her enroller. However, if when I looked at my tree that I saw that she sat best under Morag because they both live in the same place, they both know each other, then I'd be the enroller and Morag would be the sponsor. So that's sort of how we differentiate who's the enroller and who's the sponsor. So the next thing we need to do then is we need to enter them into the system. So I'm going to screen share with you here, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So I will just share my screen. And go to my doTERRA. So you log into your back office. Let's go to our dashboard page. And what you need to do is you need to come up to the top to consultant services. You need to go down to register a new consultant. And this is where we put in our consultant information. Now, as a tip, if you're going to be enrolling people in places like America or England, choose just plain English as the language, not English Australia. It creates problems. But you can also choose many other languages depending on where you're enrolling people. And then you can choose their country of residence. So this is their country and where they live and where they're going to get their oils from. So with the team that we've got at the moment, likely to be Australia, New Zealand, but we can also go Europe, America, etc. All of these markets here are open, which means that they can get their doTERRA products delivered straight to them. If we choose something like Europe, then we'll get a third box where we can choose the country. But we're going to choose Australia for this example, and we'll go continue. Next question is going to ask us, where are they going to get their products from? Are they going to get them from the local Australian warehouse, or are they going to get them international from the American warehouse? Generally, with our enrolments, they'll get them from the local warehouse, unless there's something that they can't get here. An example of that may be the Cleanse and Restore kit or the Diamond kit, those sorts of things. So we'll go local and we'll go continue. Now, the preferred member is being phased out. So what you'll see here is you'll see wellness advocate, or it may even be wholesale wellness advocate, and you'll see wholesale member. What we want to do most of the time is choose the top one, the wellness advocate. This then allows us to build underneath them and allows them to earn commissions. We are going to have some more training on this in the future, but for now, we'll just choose the top one and we'll go continue. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to enter their details. So these are all the details that appeared on the form. So I'll just enter some information in here so that we can go through. Co-applicant is if they want someone else on their account as well. So it might be husband and wife, it might be partners, it might be mother and daughter who want one account but with two names on it. Generally, you've just got one first and last name. We've got the address and the suburb. Now, if it's a PO box, the system doesn't like it if you just put PO box straight in here. So if it's a PO box, the trick is to go care of in the top line and PO box in the second line. That way the system will like it. If you just put the PO box in the first line, it doesn't like it. We then got our state, postcode, and our time zones. So you just choose the relevant one of each of these. Now, if it is the shipping address, so where they want to get their oils, is the same as their billing address on the side, we just click this box. If they want them to be shipped somewhere different, we can type them in here. But for now, we're just going to assume that they're the same. We want to put in the phone number. Usually I just put the mobile in the top and then I put the email in the bottom. I don't usually worry about the middle ones. We then want to do the birth date. Now this is an American system, so they're back the front. So we're going to have our month first, followed by our day and our year. Okay, now how we talked about the enroller and the sponsor, this is where they go in here. So the enroller, if we remember, is the person who introduced them to the oils. And then our sponsor is where they're going to sit in the tree. Now please always have a talk to your mentor, once again, about the enroller and sponsor so that you get those right. For this example, I'm going to put them the same. Now, I'm just going to make a mistake here. Always when you put them in, click Verify ID, because we want to make sure we're actually putting them in the right place. Now, if you'll see, this one's come up. It's interesting, it's actually come up with me both times. But if you put the wrong number in and go Verify ID and it's way wrong, say if I'm going to put a 2 in there, it will actually come up with an error message. So it's making it, so it hasn't come up with any, it's got invalid ID here. So we want to always click the Verify ID number, because we want to make sure they end up in our tree. We don't want them to be going and ending up an orphan, somebody else. In terms of passwords, it has to have a capital letter, it has to have a number. So the convention that I like to use for passwords is their first name and then the enrollment year. So for example, if I was enrolling myself, or this person I'm enrolling as Test, it will be Test 2017. So it's first name and the enrollment year. You can use whatever password convention you want to. That's just the one I use because it makes it really simple. And then we want to agree to the terms and conditions, and we go continue. Passwords don't match. Oops, let's try that again. Continue. Okay, so on our next page, this is where we now choose the products that they're going to get. So if they've chosen one of the kits, we can simply choose the kit and go add to cart. Now, if the kit that they've chosen isn't on the front screen, use the arrows on their sides to find it. So, for example, if they've got the Essential Collection, we'll use the arrow to find that, or the Oil Sharing Kit. Let's give them an Oil Sharing Kit. So we clicked on the Add to Cart, and we scroll down, and you'll see it's now down here. Now, if they want to get any other products, so for example, they wanted to get a couple more fractionated coconut oils, we click on the line below where the order's gone in, and we can type in the first few letters. So I'm going to type in frac for fractionated coconut oil. And I want one of them. Well, actually, I don't. I want 3 of them. So I'm going to change it to 3, and then make sure you press update. If you don't press the update, it'll lose those changes to quantities. So I want 3 of those. Okay, so that's all they want. And so we're going to go view totals. We have to go view totals, which adds the postage on, so that we know what their total cost is. We then scroll down again. Now, in our case, our billing address is the same as our shipping address. If for any reason the shipping address was different, you'll see the shipping addresses come through here. Just type the billing address in here if it's different. So click on that one, and then we put in the details from their card. Now, trick here, and thing that I got wrong heaps to begin with, is it says name on card first and then card number. I don't know why, but I used to always get those run the wrong way. So we're going to put the card details in, and then we're going to get process order now and continue. So you press this button and then you wait. Don't be impatient. It can take a few seconds, can take sort of 20, 30 seconds. Sometimes it's quicker. What will happen is you're going to get a pop-up box, and you're going to say congratulations, and at the top of that box it will have their member ID number. Now, what I usually do is I find on my enrolment form a blank space. So often in this sort of space in here, I write their password and I write their member ID, because those are what I'm going to need when I send them their welcome email. So now that we've entered them into the system, they've got their own account. Woohoo! That's where we stop, right? Yeah, no. So there's a few things that we need to do now that they're enrolled. The first thing I like to do is I like to send them a welcome email. So yes, they'll get an email from doTERRA, but I like to send them a more detailed email, once again with their login ID and their password, but also with some information where they can get more information. Some Facebook groups, some places where they can get rollers, some information about LRP, etc. So if you haven't got a recent enrolment email, what I suggest you do is have a chat to your mentor and get them to send you through their latest email. And anyone who wants to can message me, and I'll send you through my latest email. So what I do is I send them a welcome email straight away. And I also, with Lead Train, will put them on a track that sends them an email a day for 10 days, telling them different information about their oils, how to use them, loyalty rewards, healing hands, co-impact sourcing, things like that, just to give people some information about their oils. They can opt out of that at any time, but it gives them some information to get started with. You don't have to do that, but as a minimum, please do send them the welcome email, and do ask your upline or your mentor or me for an example of that if you haven't done one in a while. I also then invite them to Facebook groups. So here's where you need to know the person and know what's going to work for them. Some people will get overwhelmed. So what I usually do is I usually invite them to my personal Facebook group, which is the Kirsten's Oily Tree, and then invite them to the Empower Facebook group, which is our wider community. What I like to tell people is I like to say to them, especially with Empower, there are a lot of posts, so there's a lot of notifications. So I say to people, if it gets too much, just turn the notifications off. Don't leave the group, because it's good to be able to go back in there when you want to and have a look at stuff, but just turn the notifications off if it's too much. And then you might have some team pages as well that you want to invite people to. But we want to make sure that people have got lots of information so that they can then use their oils the best that they can. So we've processed the enrolment, we've sent them a welcome email, and we've invited them to the Facebook groups. Then what I like to do, if I haven't heard from them in 3 or 4 days, so in Perth it takes us 3 days to get their oils, I'll give them a call about day 4. So, hey, it's Kirsten here, how are you? Have you got your oils yet? If you've booked in a time already, it's like, great, I'm looking forward to catching up with you on whenever. If you've got any questions, let me know. Or if you haven't booked in a follow-up, it's a really good time to do it then. Hey, have you got your oils? Fabulous. What have you used so far? What do you love? When's a good time for us to sit down so I can go through them using them safely? And so that then gets into, we've done our enrolment, we've made sure the person knows that they're loved and supported, and we've booked in that follow-up. So that's what I would say in regards to enrolments. There is one enrolment that's slightly different, and that's if you're enrolling a business. So if you're enrolling a business, what you need to do is you need to fill out the membership form same as normal. And you will write the company name where it's got company name on the membership form. Then you want to go to doTERRA Everyday Australia, and you can Google that. And under the tools menu, you'll find the business addendum. So you want to get them to fill out that business addendum as well as filling out the membership form. And then once you've done that, you email them to the email address on the bottom of the business addendum, and they enter them for you. So you don't do the enrolment entering for those ones. If it's as a business, they do all of that and they enter it for you. So that's really the only one that's slightly different, is when you do have that business. So hopefully you've learned a lot about how to actually physically enroll somebody and what the sort of things are that you need to give them when you first do enroll them. What we're going to look at when we chat next week is we'll chat at how we support them, what we do following the enrolment, what do we do at the follow-up, how do we do a wellness consult. We'll go through that as well as different other ways you can support your people. So if anyone's got any questions, I'm always here to help. Please comment below the video or send me a message anytime. I'm here to help you guys. That's what I'm here for. Have a great evening, and I would look forward to chatting to you next week.